40th game of the Indian Premier League, it was the Lucknow Super Giants who were up against the Delhi Capitals as the race for the playoff spots intensifies. Like always in this video, I'm going to be taking you through the key highlights of the 40th game of the Indian Premier League. The two captains in Rishabh Pant and Axar were there at the centre at the beautiful Ekana Stadium. Round 2 of this game, as you will all remember, the previous time both of them came up against each other. It was the first game of the season for both the teams, and that game went down to the wire. We were here at the Ekana Stadium for the second round of this encounter, and it was the Delhi Capitals who won the toss and called the Lucknow Super Giants in to bat first, keeping in mind that the Dew will be playing a very big role later on. Even Rishabh Pant accepted it as this at the toss, that even he would have wanted to go ahead and bowl first, because the wicket gets better and better to bat on as the game progresses and as Dew continues to set in. The two openers in Aiden Markram and Mitchell Marsh came out to the centre for the Lucknow Super Giants, and they started off on a very good high. They capitalized the power play to the fullest. They were wicketless as well, and the scoring rate was also continuously getting higher and higher. And the Lucknow Super Giants went on and scored really some substantial amount of runs in the power play itself. Aiden Markram, another half century for him. To begin with, he wasn't in the best of the forms, but now in the recent games, he has started to step up, and he added another century in this edition of the Indian Premier League. But then everything just went downhill from there for the Lucknow Super Giants. The two openers had given a very good start to the Lucknow Super Giants, but after that, continuous wickets in the form of Nicholas Pooran, Mitchell Marsh and Aiden Markram started. All three had to return back to the pavilion, and since after that things really started to take a different turn in the game. In a game where it was looking like the Lucknow Super Giants might just go on and score 200 runs, suddenly things started to take a turn from there. But then the command was taken by Ayush Badoni in the centre. He was then joined by David Miller. It was sort of a different sort of a call that was taken by Rishabh Pant, because he did not come himself to in the centre. Instead, he sent in an Abdul Samad, David Miller and Ayush Badoni ahead of himself, so that the team can actually go ahead and capitalize and continue the scoring the platform that was set by the openers. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case, because then on the last the Ayush Badoni and David Miller too had to return back. Rishabh Pant, by the time he came, it was the last over, and this is how Rishabh Pant continued his bad string of scores in this another game. And Rishabh Pant unfortunately had to go back to the pavilion on the very first delivery that he faced today as well. Standout performer for the Delhi Capitals with the ball was Mukesh Kumar. A terrific game for him. 4 wickets is what he ended up with today. Wasn't having the best of seasons up until this point, but today he has now stood up, and he was only one of the few members in the Delhi teams who still now hadn't contributed, and he as well has now gone on and contributed to Delhi's victory. This is how the points scorecard looked like at the mid-innings point. It was 52 by Aiden Markram, 45 by Mitchell Marsh, and after that it was just downhill. 9 for Nicholas Pooran, 2 for Abdul Samad, 14 of 15 balls for David Miller, and 36 of 21 for Ayush Badoni. Rishabh Pant getting out bowled on the second ball that he faced off Mukesh Kumar. The Delhi Capitals managed to restrict the Lucknow Super Giants just 159, having a target of 160. And it was a tremendous comeback by the Delhi bowlers, because like I mentioned, at the halfway mark of the first innings at 10 overs, it looked like that the Lucknow Super Giants were cruising towards a total of 200. The two Delhi openers in Karun Nair and Abhishek Purell came out all guns blazing. They knew that they really need to dig it out in the power play itself, because the runs weren't much, and the Delhi Capitals were just one partnership away from registering their 6th win of this season. But then Karun Nair had to return back to the pavilion, but it was just artificial excitement at that point of time because Karun Nair had to return back. But on the other end was Abhishek Porel, and he was now joined by the man in form in KL Rahul. And remember, I hope you guys remember that KL Rahul had a point to prove. He wasn't part of the first encounter when these two teams faced each other because he was there fulfilling his fatherhood duties. He became a father when these teams played the first time against each other. He wasn't part of this game. Today he had an opportunity to show his previous franchise in Lucknow Super Giants at their home ground that what actually did they actually lose by letting a player like KL Rahul go. He looked in full swing. It looked like that he was in another zone, altogether different zone, and it looked like that he was there to prove a point on the day. Abhishek Porel in the meanwhile reached to his 50. He's been really impressive since the time he's been given the responsibility to open the innings for the Delhi Capitals, and he reached to another half century this season for Abhishek Porel. Then he had to return back to the pavilion, but the job for the Delhi Capitals was almost done by then. KL Rahul was settled on the other end, and Delhi had just lost 2 wickets at this point. The remainder of the job was then done by Axar Patel and KL Rahul, who too took on the attack, making sure, and Axar Patel, who was not scoring too many runs with the bat in a couple of innings, he has definitely shown signs of coming back in form. But today he assured that he is well and truly back in form because those couple of big hits from him made him look like he was never out of form. A tremendous knock by Axar Patel as well, and so by KL Rahul. Both of them continued to dominate the bowlers, and the game was long lost by the Lucknow Super Giants. And at this point it was very prominent that the Lucknow Super Giants are out of this game, and the Delhi Capitals are all set to register their 6th win of this 18th edition of the Indian Premier League. KL Rahul in the meanwhile got to another half century for him, and this celebration that you see on your screen at this point of time clearly shows what this half century meant to him against the Lucknow Super Giants at the Ekana Stadium, where just maybe everything sort of did not set well as far as his previous franchise was concerned. These were the winning moments for the Delhi Capitals. After this victory, they are a very happy and assured team. It won't be wrong to say that the Delhi Capitals have almost certainly sealed their spot in the top 4 moving ahead in this tournament. 12 points is what they have got. An absolute convincing and clinical win by the Delhi Capitals. They have managed to win 6 out of the first 8 games of the season that they have played, and they can really feel happy and relaxed at the same time because they have, like I mentioned earlier as well, have made it a certainty that they definitely will be one of the teams in the top 4 when the playoff leg of this tournament starts. Now moving ahead in this season, with still 6 games remaining in this season for them in the league stages, they must be eyeing at trying to finish at the top 2 spots so that they get 2 shots to play the final. But on the other end, the Lucknow Super Giants, lots of things to worry about because they are now stuck in the middle table muddle, and they really need to fight it out if they want to be one of the teams that play the playoffs after the league stages is ended. Lots of things really need to be looked back into whatever happened in this game, and Rishabh Pant's Lucknow Super Giants will really have to play out of their skins if they want to have a chance, because now all the teams in the middle of the points table in a Mumbai Indians, Royal Challengers Bengaluru and Punjab Kings are really heating things up in the middle of the points table. You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, but for now that is all that I've got for you. I hope you like this video. I hope you are enjoying our coverage here on Sports Today. So do not forget to press the subscribe button, like this video, share it with your friends, and press the bell icon so that as soon as we are live or there's any interesting content coming your way, you guys come to know first.